Hello everyone and welcome back to Rogers Reports. I'm your host with the most, Rogers, and we are 500 subscribers up there away from 4,000 subscribers, which is our goal for the end of the year. So over there, leave a like on the video, subscribe down below if you are enjoying the content. Today's going to be a lot more happy and a lot less doom and gloom than the last video on this channel. But more importantly, we are going to be talking about that man up there, Joao Pedro from Brighton, who Aston Villa have been linked with in the last couple of days, and that man there, Samu Omorodion, I think is how you pronounce his name. Please don't crucify me. I promise I'll do better next time. We're going to be talking about those two players who have been linked with Aston Villa in the last couple of days, looking at both of them, looking at their stats, looking at how they play, comparing them to Europe's top 5 leagues, and ultimately seeing if they would fit into the Aston Villa team, which one of the two would be the better signing. Now, with all the FFP stuff going on, are we even going to be able to sign one of these two lads? Probably not, but it's always fun to speculate. And I tell you what else is fun, when you guys comment down below and let me know your thoughts on the video, because I'll be down there replying to every single one. But without further ado, let's get on to talking about Samu Omorodion, the Don. And here he is. And do you remember when I said he is a little bit of a Don? Well, you can see his stats on the screen, and that should probably tell you everything you need to know about just how good this guy is. Now, it was about a year or so ago, I think, that we were actually linked with him when he was playing for Atletico Madrid. He went out on loan to Deportivo Alvarez. If I was Spanish, that's probably how I'd pronounce it, maybe, I don't know. Where he got 8 goals in 35 games. We were linked with him then. And at the time, I actually said there might be better options out there. And you know, he was a young striker at the time. He was 19 or 20 years of age. Wasn't particularly setting the world light in terms of goal contributions whilst at Deportivo Alvarez. But Porto picked him up. They took a gamble. They picked him up for something ridiculous, like 15 million euros or something really, really stupid from Atletico Madrid. And since then, he has just gone leaps and bounds. And now I can fully see why they want 60 to 80 million euros for this guy. So number 9 shirt at Porto, 193 centimetres tall for context. Amadou Onana, the tallest player in the Aston Villa team, is 195 centimetres tall. So we're looking at players about 6'4" to 6'5", only 21 years of age. This season in Liga Portugal, 19 goals, 3 assists in just 23 starts, 30 games overall, an average match rating of 7.24 and 2,262 minutes played. If we go down and have a little look at his stats for the season, this is his totals, not his per 90s. We'll have a little look at the per 90s as well, because it's interesting to compare, and we're going to be comparing his per 90s to Europe's elite leagues very, very soon. Like I say, the 19 goals, it's going to put him, what, top 5th percentile, there or thereabouts. Scored 4 penalties this season. I really like it when a player scores a penalty, because Aston Villa players don't particularly enjoy doing that. 3 assists off of an expected assist of 2.21, which put him in the top 5th percentile, and this is positioning in his league, so in the Liga Portugal. 78% pass accuracy, 77% long ball accuracy, and 18 chances created for his teammates. 13 successful dribbles. Yes, the success ratio is only 31%. You'll see when we watch the videos on him. That isn't his game, but he can take a man on and beat him if he really needs to. 2 penalties as well. Impressive for his size that he's not just bulldozing everyone out of the way. Yeah, tackles, fine. Is that going to be what we're going to bring in a pure number 9 to do at Aston Villa? Probably not. But he has won 98 duels and he wins 50% of his aerial duels as well. 51 recoveries. He's won possession in the final third 15 times, which puts him in the top 10th percentile in that league. And I mean, per 90s, obviously, he didn't start every single game this season. You can see they're all pretty much the same, right? 0.7 goals per 90. Touches in the opposition box is in the top 10th percentile per 90 as well. They're all pretty good, but that's per 90 against players in his league. Let's have a look at him versus Europe's top 5 leagues. We'll flick back over to FB Ref. Yeah, it's pretty good. The top 6th percentile for strikers, goals, non-penalty goals per 90 in the last 365 days. You take that deal? I'd take that deal. Top 5th percent in pass completion as well. top 14th percentile in touches in the attacking penalty area. For shots, top 16th percentile. The assists could be a little bit better, that's fine. You'll see when we watch the highlights though, he gets a decent amount of assists and his link-up play is pretty good. I'll tell you what, let's watch the video. Come on. As always, shout out to 360 Edition. Link to this video is in the video's description. And if you can't see from these videos, this guy is an absolute machine. Here he is on the ball, slipping his teammate in. Should have been an assist, but what can you do? Picking up the ball out wide, he can float out wide. And like I say, he can beat a player. I mean, this is here, we're going to see an absolute demonstration of pure strength here. Flicks the ball over. Yes, see you later, buddy. Here he is, lovely ball in. Again, should have been another assist there. You'd expect his teammate to finish that. Have a look at this for a finish. Oh no, it's the next clip actually. A near post finish that he does is very, very nice. And here, what an overhead kick. See you later, buddy. But you can see his finishing ability is definitely there, and that's against Roma. It's definitely there, and it's definitely beginning to come through. This is the thing I thought he was missing at Deportivo Alvarez, but since he's gone to Porto, it's just like he's come on so many leaps and bounds. Look at the strength of that as well, that you can't deny him. That's a lovely little layoff to his teammate there to get an assist. And what do we want at Villa? I mean, look at that for a finish. That's the near post one I was on about. A goalkeeper is never going to get down to their near post in that amount of time when you're coming back across goal. It's a very instinctive and a very, very clever finish. But this is what I like to see from him. 6'4". That's against United as well. Use your head. And he's going to do it again. Use your head. And one thing that Villa were really, really poor at for me last season was getting the ball in the box. Maybe because we didn't have a player, the likes of Samu, that's a perfect assist, of Samu in our team. But with him, with his aerial presence, I mean, look at that for a ball as well. Lovely little assist. How can he finish this? Ollie Watkins would not score from this position. Watch what he does. 21 years of age. That's what you want. But how would he fit in to Aston Villa's team? Well, you can see on the screen next to me is the interactive tactiques board. And I've made a couple of changes to the starting lineup to unlock what I think could potentially be a bit of a hidden weapon and a bit of a, like, you know, back in the days when there was like the kickoff tactic in FIFA that was just absolutely broken. That's kind of the vibe I'm going for here. And that is this man, Eric Garcia. And by the very nature of the fact that I like these young right backs that Aston Villa do have, I also believe that Kostan Nedeljkovic, to an extent, could fill in that role. I don't think his cross accuracy was quite as good as Garcia's last season. I'll put them both up on the screen near me so that you can see that. But Garcia's was in the Premier League, this is. Floating at around 27% accurate crosses. That is about 10% or so for the amount that he done. Better than anyone else in the Aston Villa team. And he's a very attacking fullback, just like Cash. That's what our right fullback is, the attacking one. Matty Cash can't complete a cross to save his life. He can't put a cross into the box to save his life. And that's why Garcia, I think, could be a bit of a secret weapon. And when you have someone like Omorodion in the penalty area who will get his head to these balls, and he's very good with his head as well on the ball. Well, pause. He's very good at heading the ball. Don't clip that. So, and again, you unlock Donyell Marlon on the right-hand side as well. And how do I think this could work? And again, I'm not a football manager. This is just me spitballing some ideas and seeing whether you guys agree with me down in the comments. Hint, hint, wink, wink, go and comment. It helps out the algo, all that kind of good stuff. But you have Rodgers out on the left, you have Marlon out on the right. Now, Marlon naturally, when we have the ball, this is in an attacking sense, an attacking phase of play. I think we'll like to tuck in up close there next to Omorodion. He's a striker, you know, by trade. He's going to want to get in there. Rodgers, we know, floats in a bit, and Tielemans will probably end up having to occupy a bit of space like that. And you kind of go in to like a 4-2-2. But Onana also will get forward with the ball. So he'll get forward there, and you almost have like a 3 supporting the front two. Now, Maatsen is an interesting one because at Borussia Dortmund, he pretty much had 2 main roles. Now, the first one was to come in here, just like we see, what's his name, Rico Lewis do for Manchester City. And to be honest, what Manchester City have done for the past yonks before they recently changed it up was having the fullback come in and be almost like a second pivot or a second defensive midfielder. Now that kind of meta has left football slightly. So Matsson's other role was effectively just to play as a winger up here, and that is exactly what you would want Garcia to do as well. Kamara, we've seen him do it last season, will drop back if Pau and Konsa come forward here. He will drop back and he will form part of that back three with Onana possibly just sitting a little bit deeper. You kind of go into like a 3-1-4-2. When we're in possession of the ball, you have Garcia and Maatsen out wide. You have Pau, maybe we replace him with a bit more of a speedster centre-back. Out on the left, covering that side, you have Onana, who can cover an entire football pitch in 3 strides. Just being, wary to break up a counter-attack. You have Kamara filling in at that right centre-back / right-back position. Garcia's rapid, so he'll get back anyway. And you just get Maatsen and Garcia to pepper balls into the box, into Omorodion's head. He's probably going to get on the end of a lot of them, and we're going to get a few goals from that. And even if you don't, you have Marlon sniffing around at the back post. If it's Maatsen crossing the ball in, you have Rodgers and Tielemans ready to collect the ball on the edge of the box, and they can then feed Garcia, and they can feed Maatsen, or they can do something special on their own. And we've all seen what Onana done against Newcastle if he gets the ball on the edge of the box. And I think maybe if we just upgrade Pau, or if this is a different player filling in that Kamara role, if he does end up leaving the club, that's a very, very powerful tactic to use going forward. Let me know what you think down below though. That's just me spitballing. But there were 2, so we've got to talk about this chap on the screen as well, Joao Pedro from Brighton. Now, I don't really understand what is going on and why all of a sudden he's leaving Brighton. I didn't really see that one coming, but I was shocked at one stat on this screen, and that's the fact that this geezer's only 23 years of age, because he joined Watford in 2020, so 5 years ago. I did not realise he joined Watford when he was, 18 years of age? He just feels like he should be like 25, 26, but he's only 23 years of age. Been playing for Brighton since June 2023, so he's been there for 2 years, and it just seems like his time at the club is over, and Aston Villa have been one of the clubs that have been mentioned, similarly with Samu Omorodion, as holding a vested interest in securing the player's services to go forward. Now this season in the Premier League, similar to Samu over in the Liga Portugal, 23 starts, he got 10 goals and 6 assists. Played less minutes, to be fair, than Samu by about 250. So he only played 1,953 minutes. Same amount of red cards, loves an elbow, as we all found out this season. So we go down and look at his stats. 10 goals, yet 5 of them are penalties again. I do think Aston Villa are crying out for a penalty taker, so I wouldn't be too mad at us taking a penalty taker, especially away from another Premier League club, and adding him into our ranks. But it does mean only 5 goals from open play in effectively 2,000 minutes. Is that slightly worrying for someone that plays as a number 9? I will let you guys make that distinction. 6 assists puts him in the top 6 percentile in his position in the Premier League. Very, very good. We one player that's going to be above him, and that is Ollie Watkins. And when we go through these stats, just think about who they might remind you of. An expected assist of only 3 as well. 74% pass accuracy, 58% long ball accuracy, and I've just been bigging up that I like close to 30% cross accuracy. If you've watched the channel for a long time, you know I love it. 27% cross accuracy. Yeah, he only completed 6, but to be fair, positionally, that isn't too bad. But a good cross accuracy percentage, thank the Lord. 29 successful dribbles. The success rate, not fantastic, but 29 puts him in the top 10th percentile. Won 3 penalties this season, 12 tackles, 75% tackle success ratio, wins 47% of his aerial duels as well. And he isn't any slouch when it comes to being a bit of a... what are those trees? The redwoods, is it? I think you can drive through in America. 188 centimetres tall, so we're looking at about 6'1" to 2", I believe that is. But a market value of £52 million, the deal would be in the region of 60 to 70 million. So how would he compare? You'd want him to compare favourably against Europe's top 5 leagues over the last 365 days. FB rank. And here are those stats. And as you can see, goal-wise, we're not ecstatic per 90 about his goal involvements in terms of just pure getting the ball in the back of the net this season. But if you're looking at him as an overall forward and how he plays as an overall forward, top 12th percentile for assists, top 8th percentile for expected assisted goals, top 10th percentile for shot creating actions, 3.33 per 90. 30 passes attempted per 90 puts him in the top 7th percentile. His completion puts him in the top 40th. Progressive carries and progressive passes, we're talking about a top 4th and 3rd percentile player. Considering Ollie Watkins had like a 14% dribble success ratio this season, just one to think about. Successful take-ons, top 10th percentile, and interceptions, top 5th percentile as well. They're all very favourable stats in terms of his overall forward play. Just needs to add a few more goals. But how would he fit into the Aston Villa team? Because it would tweak it slightly from a unit such as Samu Omorodion. I nearly done you and forgot, but we are going to be looking at Joao Pedro in action for Brighton. You can see there, lovely bit of a 1-2 there. I think that was a Belabor. And I love an outside of the boot finish. Who doesn't? And this is where you're going to see that Joao Pedro offers you something slightly different to the likes of Omorodion. I mean, nothing changes. They're both scoring headers against Manchester United. How on earth did we lose 2-0 to these boys at the end of the season? But this is something that he does offer you that's different. Going out wide, and we're going to see it back-to-back clips here, and beating a man, and doing this, picking the ball up deep and running with it. Samu is an out-and-out number 9. He's a finisher. Should have slipped it into Matoma there. But Joao Pedro offers you, as this video does highlight, a bit more of a complete package in terms of progression, dribbling, passing, etc, etc. But he can do this and score goals. And again, how does it differ? Well, we go back to the team here, and I've kept everyone else the same because we're just focusing on how the team might play around Pedro. And it's effectively, I think, the same as we played last year with Watkins up front. The only difference is that it will say Joao Pedro on the back of the shirt and it's him playing than Watkins. I think he will drift wide. He'll pick up those positions. He'll complement the likes of Rodgers, Marlon and Tielemans in behind him. But otherwise, structurally, nothing will change and it will just be the same that we do. This will probably end up still being cash. I can't even bring myself to put it in there, to be honest with you. But everything else will stay the same. You know, if it is Garcia or Cash, they'll move forward. They'll tuck in and we almost play like a narrow sort of box there. Matson will probably get forward. Kamara drops in just the same as he does. And sort of Onana floats around. But it'll be very much like having a, dare I say, younger. Is he better? I don't know. Better of Ollie version, of Ollie Watkins up front. There you have it. Who would you rather at Aston Villa? You've seen what the little bubble thing's telling you to do. Comment down below. And if that one wasn't good enough, we'll get that one to tell you to do it as well. What do you guys think? Apologies about the audio in the last video as well. Someone pointed it out. I just listened to it back. Don't know what was going on. My microphone was trying to act as a speaker for some reason. Should be fixed this video and I'll be more attentive to it going forward. So thank you guys for all the support and I'll see you guys soon. Oh, who would I rather have? Omorodion. Just because of the name. And he's actually a number 9. Not one a number 9 at Aston Villa.